Okay, that should be working. There we go. Okay, so yesterday, good morning all, by the way. That's rude to start with. Hope you're all well. Sorry, I got to the computer a bit early, so I got to look at the problem from yesterday, and I fixed one problem and then went straight into another problem. So afternoon, that means you're live and I'm work from home. It's bacon time. I'm good day, Rambling Geek, or good afternoon, and I'm glad that my stream marks bacon time. Gonna lie down, bud. Okay. Is this your hobby project? Yes. Yeah. This is my um nice. Um so this project is it's kind of a passion project. And it is a project that I would love to turn into a real product. So I do want to aim in that direction. Treat it like I'm building a real product, treat it like it's going to be supported and everything like that until the point that I decide, can I do this or can't I do this? Um, if I could turn it into a product, I would. I think it so far has the potential to help. So yeah. So this is um, Liquid Sky. Um, this is how it's built. Um, good luck. I was going to do that, do my own things and learn from it. I mean, I think anybody who does what we do, I think at one point at least contemplates making the thing so that they make the money rather than working for somebody else. I don't know of any developer, or I know a few developers I've met that have just no aspirations to do that sort of stuff. Um, because creative control, right? If nothing else, if you're paying the bills, you have control of the software. Uh, you can make crazy decisions, you can take risks, you can do all sorts of stuff. No time. I only have 2 hours a day in which I get to do any real coding, and maybe on weekends I get a few hours. So, and I've been doing this for a year. But you know, it's a challenge. So, Liquid Sky is a project management and planning application aimed at helping teams gather requirements, gather software requirements, and produce requirements that the business can understand, that can then be generated from which can be generated actual technical requirements rather than merging the two things together. So whereas with Jira you have a story has tasks maybe, and you break it down like that. Liquid Sky planning is its own component. Requirements are components of planning items, and tasks, which is what we're focused on right now, will be generated from these, and these will be what the developers work off of. So, right now it's called tasks to just try and separate from stories. Essentially, the planning item tells the story. So the planning item is the story. But again, I'm trying to figure out how not to just parallel with Jira in its terminology. And again, I keep saying Jira. Jira is the biggest reference I have. It's the tool I've used the most of, and it's the tool I have the most gripes with. So that's why I keep mentioning that platform. But there are others. Monday.com does some stuff. Not Medium. There's another I looked at not too long ago. There's a lot of platforms for doing this sort of stuff. But this is my take on it. I haven't copied this from anywhere. It's just my way of representing that. So today, I started a little bit early. I got the chance to create get the API working. Capturing the big picture goal, whatever the future is with what the dev is currently working on, seems important. Morning, Delta. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it evolves. Um, if nothing else, I think this gives all of us a chance to reflect on our workflows. To reflect upon, you know, um, just all the practices we go through every day and what we like and don't like about those things. So yeah, Dark Raven, g'day. How you doing? How is the land of Oz treating you? You all settled? It's more like good evening there for you, isn't it? We've definitely leaned towards big picture more than details. Yeah. So let's figure this out. So the gateway is what I was looking for before, because I'm getting a weird behavior that I don't like. And it's bugging me. What IP address is the gateway start on? Gateway properties, launch settings, 7285. Okay, so we're going to go to 7285 slash API slash tasks. 401 unauthorized. 9 p.m. here, yeah. It's great. I think I officially settled as of today. Last item checked the list, transferred driver's license. Wow. 9 p.m. Nice. It's Good Friday. You guys will enjoy it. Good to know. Good to know. 14 hours. That's not too bad. I'm down for a Good Friday. Oh, next week, by the way, next Friday, I have another day off work. We might do another community stream. I don't know. I might open up Discord. I might just plan a Liquid Sky stream, but open Discord. Well, not make it like an actual community day, but just open Discord because I've got the day off, so I can spend a little bit more time. We might do that. I don't know. Depends on how much progress we're making. But I do have next Friday off, so a longer stream next Friday. Monday is a holiday for us, so I have a long weekend and today off because I have an extra day off every fortnight. Oh, nice. That's a pretty good deal. What do you do for a living? Or what are you doing for a living there, I suppose? Electric design. Nice. I've probably asked that in the past. Okay, why are you failing? So the problem, by the way, yesterday with the startup was the fact I had this commented out, so I wasn't adding mediator, so nothing was running. That's why. So that's why that failed. Um, so we just need to get over this hump, and then we can get onto the UI parts. No worries, that Raymond. I've been watching an Australian TV show the last couple of days as well, on Amazon called Tropo, which has got Thomas Jane in it, and he plays the same sort of character he played in The Expanse. Um, I forgot he was in The Expanse. I was like, this guy looks really familiar. So I've heard a lot of Australian slang and stuff the last couple of days. Okay. So yeah, the mediator wasn't added, so the outbox wasn't loading properly and everything wasn't working. So once that was there, it created all the right outboxes and stuff, so that's good. However, we now have a permissions problem where we shouldn't have a permissions problem because our token should be handed in hold on. Time to drag that off screen a second. Do I have a user secrets? No, there is no user secrets. It is all back. So it's not a user secrets problem. Task API 8500 7079. So that configuration there for tasks is 7079. That's fine. Auth 0. Okay, so I'm missing something. Add authorization, add auth 0. So that's authentication and authorization dealt with. Add transient, add health checks, add calls, build. There's no output either for this as to why it's not letting me do it. So, you know, policies, application, support user. That's in my token. I've checked the token. Okay, Raven. Thank you for the follow. Almost at 1100 followers. Is this account on PC because it's actually linked to my Apex so I can get dropped? Nice. Nice. I haven't played Apex in a long time. I haven't played any real games other than Gran Turismo recently. And even that's on the PS5. I haven't turned my gaming PC on in 6, 7 months. I've been so focused on doing this, I've just tried to keep myself from playing because there's a ton of games. There's a few um, city building games that have come out that I really want to play. But Apex is going to be unplayable when I move, but it's surprisingly okay. Yeah, playing on very different servers as well there. So this is frustrating because I can't get to the UI pieces. Well, I can, but I can't get to adding tasks even if I do it. So we're going to give this a little bit work, bit longer to figure out, see if I'm missing something. But it's a good exercise in debugging anyway, so it's useful for capturing on the stream. Sydney servers can be dead, but if I switch to Singapore, it's pretty quick to queue and the ping isn't bad. Nice. What sort of internet do you have there? So we've got all the right pieces. I don't see anything I'm missing. We've got authentication authorization down here, so that's all in place. 100 meg. Gotcha. So not stunning, but not terrible. use fast endpoints, so we've got all the right pieces, right? I mean, this isn't going to make a difference when I'm making a request through this. This is now going through the gateway. It's clearly getting routed properly. Go to the API gateway. Oh, it's just going to keep polling. So task route does not require you to be authorized. Status code of 7079 tasks. So it is hitting the API. It's just returning an error. Also not as bad as expected. Heard nothing but complaints about the internet here, but it's been fine. Ah. So this new authentication needed is on the Ocelot configuration for the route. There's actually, it doesn't have any auth requirement because you can actually auth at the Ocelot layer, the gateway layer, and beyond. So I could make it so you have to be authenticated on the requests in some way, shape, or form. So like my tenant requirement, I could actually add that at the Ocelot level, and then just avoid even having to worry about that behind. And that always confuses me because I think that, what if your app isn't behind a gateway? Do you not want that authentication? Shouldn't be a thing all the time. But by the way, that's clearly getting to the tasks API. So we're getting here and then nothing. So how do I diagnose that? Um, am I not sending the token properly? Yeah, enabled. Headers. Like, I don't think I'm going to get into this because configure fails in Postman. I mean, my bearer token's attached. That is a valid bearer token because, again, I'm logged into the application here. That's the token from that. Copy value once more just to make sure. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, that's the one I'm logged in with the application in. I mean, there is an auth policy on it, but that's the same as here. And the route's being found because that's registered. Well, I'm not even in the website yet. I'm not doing it in the website. This is all from Insomnia. I'm not trying to make a request to test this API before I go bothering with the UI. It's configured the same as planning, right? So we have everything here. We have fast endpoints. We had auth and authorization. Add auth 0 has authority and audience. We don't have management in this one. Our settings contain our authority and audience. So we've got the right configuration. I don't think I'm missing anything from this perspective. Got connection strings, got console, allowed host is there. Just left that up there rather than down there in the middle for some reason. So yeah, so hold on, let's test. Let's validate stop tasks project. Yeah. Let's do allow anonymous. This will break. So but at least this is a test that it's going to get to the endpoint. And it's that causing it. Now, for reference, we copy that token. That token contains all the permissions. It's got my tenant, right? The permission required for support user is create ticket, list tickets, and read tickets. I'll read ticket. Read tickets, yeah. These permissions don't really make any sense right now. That's not the point. But they are permissions. So now if we attempt that, yep, we're getting to the endpoint. So we're getting into the API. This will crash because this will fail. Right. So that errored because tenant identifier wasn't there. So stop tasks. So it is the policy causing the problem. Is the audience being wrong matter? Where was the audience wrong? Audience, Liquid Sky Dev. You're kidding me. OBS just said disconnected, reconnected. That was just OBS blipping. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So this hasn't changed. This token hasn't changed, and this code, I don't believe I've set anything up differently. So this support user policy, by the way, is this. If I go to application policies, is it? Not that. Extensions identity. So that is in my shared extensions identity. I have the policies, and where is it? Here. So a support user policy is create tickets, list tickets, read tickets. Doing stuff with scope in the server. That question or a statement? OpenID profile email is pretty much default of the scope. Compared to the two types you add and subtract. Sure. So, that's that. That's that. Those are the actual permission stuff. This is all stuff I need to revisit anyway, but it's not. Run the server and debugging to set the breakpoints. Well, I can't get to that part because it's the authentication part. It's not my piece. So where do I debug that? That's the challenge. I'm missing a configuration of some form. So planning we know works, right? So we had auth 0. Probably in here you see the remove, right? This is because the the way it uses it's the way that it uses the actual token in the .NET stuff. So the actual permissions are the scope. Right. Well, I can't. There's no. I commented out this and allow the unauthorized to validate that this is what's causing the problem. So this causes the issue, but this role is present, which is what's confusing me, right? Because I'm saying support these roles or these permission sets, these policies, right? Again, right now it's not set up the way I want it to be set up eventually. So these are just kind of copied and pasted. But this support user policy being there is this is its name. So that's the policies.support. So that's the actual string name, which is the one I actually set in the actual handler. And then this is okay. It has to have this claim and these permissions to be allowed to be called a support user, right? So I'm kind of building roles this way. Yeah. Again, I haven't changed any of this, right? So it has create tickets. Did I call it create ticket? Or create tickets. Why is that create ticket now? I didn't change that. I haven't messed with this. This is the same user I've logged in as for the last several months on stream. But that doesn't agree. Let's validate that. I'm going to log into all zero off screen. There's no point in dragging screens around, etc. User management users. So the tickets. I mean, I haven't messed with this, which is what's applications, Liquid Sky. Why do we do this? APIs, Liquid Sky, permissions. Unless I somehow manage to add an S in there while doing something else, which I haven't opened this, so let's validate. That'd be a really strange, annoying issue. Nope, 4 and 1 unauthorized. So it's not that. Again, read tickets, list tickets, create ticket. That permission is applied, but again, I haven't changed this. So that, I'm not sure why that. I don't need to dig into that right this second. No, that'd be a massive change. No, it won't. It's actually only one change. What I was trying to do with this is create some sort of system that would, each component of the application could define the list of permissions that it would support and define the role that it means for that component. Because again, someone who's allowed I don't want to create all these permissions as one global object and then share them across everything. What I'd like to be able to do is define these permissions, and I just couldn't figure out that design. And then again, it turns out that I need authentication and authorization to be separate in the long term anyway. So I've got to figure out that strategy. Let's start bare view again. So I have the API. So what I want to get to is the UI. So if this doesn't work in the next couple of minutes, I'll have to bump on this and move to the UI components because I want to kind of get the vision in place. Just be nice if I could test this because it's so close. But I haven't changed that. I have not changed that, and I copied the chunk of code in deliberately because it's kind of rinse and repeat. So what's been working on planning for the last several months that you've been seeing, I haven't changed any of that. 100% have not changed any of that. No. So even if that matches, so that the permissions don't work the way I think they do. That's what that tells me. However, because my expectation is this means that this claim has to be there and these three permissions have to be there for that to match, to be a support user. I mean, I'll look, but we're in a massive. So tickets, the system tickets is nothing to do with this because that's not been used in a long time. That's left behind for right a second. We'll come back around on that later. But there is no. I'm not sure. Yeah. And again, this code looks the same as. So this is planning, right? Planning. We do. We add the pieces. We go and add endpoints explorer, swagger gen, and fast endpoints. Then we add auth and authorization. So we add auth 0, that's that static method. But I don't think it's tickets that's causing it. It is definitely the policy, without a doubt. Something in here. So I've said you have to be a tenant user. I mean, watch, I can validate this. Let's see if it is tickets, because I can just say, because right now that's all it really needs, right? Because that's all I care about. So tenant user, there is no policies at all. It's just you have to have a tenant identifier. So I can say you're associated with a tenant. That's all that needs. If this works, it's definitely the policies. If this doesn't work, something is not applying the authorization stuff correctly. Right. So it's nothing to do with the specific policies. It's something to do with. Is that actually no? No, that's configuring policies within your system. So that's just a wrapper around. That's just for me to make it a little easier to read. What that does internally is this. It adds a policy, and if there's claims, it adds them as required claims. And if there's permissions, it adds them as required permissions. So if we put a breakpoint here and restart tasks, we should see it hitting here when it starts up. So this just registers policies, and policies are a collection of claims and roles, etc. Right? So here we're going to add a policy info of tenant user with the claim of tenant and no permissions. So I'm going to say, okay, there's no claims, or there's a claim. And that's, we now require the claim tenant on the actual token. And then there's no permissions, therefore move out. So that's what that does. It just registers policies. It's just my wrapper to make sure it's a bit more readable. I don't have to go through this effort every single time in every single piece of the code. So this one has the claim tenant again. So all I'm going to say is that, it's going to require the tenant claim multiple times. But I don't think this is, and yeah, this is permissions, and that's saying, okay, we need to create ticket, list tickets, read tickets. That's what that's doing. And just adding them as a, yeah. Yeah. Permissions and claim value is one of the following. Claim value is one of the following. That's interesting. So that's why it's worked without that, with that incorrect, because it actually says one of the following. Huh. That's interesting. Either way, not the time for me to learn that. So this is just a wrapper to add the policies. Um, so that matches Liquid Sky Dev and authority, liquidskyauth0.com. That matches. That's the issuer, that's the authority, and the audience is there. Auth0 audience. And that'll be an or the same way. Give it 5 more minutes and then we're going to move to the UI piece because I don't want to do. Again, we've been working in this for months and not touched this code. So what all of a sudden has changed? That's because I had to change the permission. That's just good practice, right? That's just 8:57 today, my time, which is yeah. So the token's valid. I mean, let's double check. Let's log out and get a fresh token and validate. You can maybe tell the email address again. You'd think I'd have this saved or I've created a different user at this point, but it's just kind of the user right this second. No. Okay, we have a fresh token. I hate this sort of stuff because it bogs you down with stuff you don't need to be doing. It's frustrating. I know you probably couldn't see the expiry date, but I guarantee it said 8:57 a.m. GMT -4, which is where I am. So it's definitely a valid token. Yeah, 4 and 1 authorized. So it's still spitting out unauthorized. It is definitely the policy applied by fast endpoints. Let's test. Let's test planning. Let's bring up planning API and validate that that still actually works. So if we go into here, and let's change a planning item. If we can't change a planning item for the same reason, then that's a challenge. Let's assign this to Jeffrey. Yep, that worked. It won't show the green unless that request succeeds. So if we go to, actually, let's say for the future, I'm going to need to review this down. Let's see what it looks like. Then this message should show when it's recorded against the planning item, right? Idea, dev tickets should be able to be assigned to multiple people. That's not a bad idea. The tasks themselves, kind of agree with that. That's going to be a design thing we need to talk about later on, because I was thinking about this yesterday more. I said something on stream and it kind of triggered me to think about the idea that tickets can kind of live in different pieces. Yeah, there you go. So it recorded that. So that same token is going through the planning API just fine. And that has that same role that we had before. So something is different about this configuration over the other configuration. I'm damned if I know right this second. Use authorization, use authentication. Use authentication, use authorization. Yeah, it's in the right order. If that's in the wrong order, you get weird results. Okay, let's switch focus a little bit. Default policy thing and code. So this isn't even. So the cause is definitely not the thing. So this is one way of doing it. You can actually do set up add default policy, so it falls back on that policy if you don't specify it. But yeah, that's probably the way I should set that up. But this is not the problem, because I would get a different exception, right? If it was cause related. Okay, so we validated that planning items still works. Planning items token is valid. There's no secrets. I'm not missing any configuration out of here. Hey, coding again. How you doing? Welcome in. Doing good. I'm doing good. Bit of frustration. So I am not I'm not a game dev. I am building an application. Um, I've done some game dev on stream before, but my stream is primarily about application dev. Nice. Yep, still working on it. We're making progress. We've got tasks, and we're starting to work on tasks, and we've got requirements kind of breaking out. We've got planning items in there. We've got the requirements, and we're trying to work towards tasks. I'm having a hard time getting the API. For some reason, the API is giving me auth issues that I don't know. Yeah, so we're able to create a new planning item. We can add requirements. We can edit and delete the requirements. We can upload attachments to Azure. We can track the changes. Right now it's very rough, but it tracks the changes, and we can add comments to the requirement and to the planning items. So the goal here is to, from here, ultimately be able to say, okay, here's the actual task the developer's going to work on. And that's kind of the focus we've switched to this week. The challenge is the tasks UI I want to look very different. So what I'm going to do is now, for the remainder of the stream, do exactly what I thought I should do. This is could be against Jira. Yes, ideal world, yes, it would be. It's a different. I feel that this is a slightly different perspective. I find I learn about general ticket flow from this also. Yeah. So there's some good. If I manage to take this to a product, that would be awesome. That would be the ultimate goal, right? So I want to treat it as a software platform that I'm going to build my future on, right? I'm going to build this software to grow, to change, to adapt. I think it tackles a few of the problems that we have with Jira, and the goal again is to remove, split the components of planning and execution into two components that are tightly linked, so that we can track them from the right perspectives. Because I've said it, I say it a lot, and it should actually just be a tagline of the stream. Jira is a management tool. It's not a developer tool. It's a visualization product for making sure we understand where things are. But it does a bad job because the developers often end up being the ones to say, where are we with this? Where are we with this? Where are we with this? Because it just becomes this massive overload of information once we dump enough into it. You're going to not like it. um, so the goal of this piece is to allow a PM the language on this stream I kind of keep under uh, 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 very PG, so sorry to deny that message. There we go. Don't need gunshots. Yeah. No, all good. All good. Um, no, it's perfectly fine. I mean, there's a lot of times I want to swear. I just try and hold it on this stream. So, but anyway, so well, the goal of this is the planning when we're gathering requirements, when we want information, we often try and merge the two, and it becomes a mess because we end up with the planning becoming too focused on the business, and then the developers are kind of working off their understanding of the requirements that may not be well thought out. Australian second nature. um, I've been watching Troppo on Prime the last couple of days. And it reminds me how much I enjoy the Australian culture. Um, so, so the goal is very much one of trying to make sure that the requirements are gathered. So, encouraging developers to talk through this, encouraging planning. These can't just be created as tasks because the actual work the developers need to work on aren't these things. The developers need to have seen these things, agreed to these things, and gone through the effort of saying, oh, well, this is going to create 5 tasks. This is going to create 4 tasks, etc. So, and I'm calling them tasks right this second to just differentiate from the word story, but they are what would typically be a story in Jira. this might be an epic. It might be a story overall and just create a few different tasks or one task even, right? It might be just one requirement is meets the other things. So, and we'll test that as we go. We'll see if it works. But yeah, so we're trying to focus on that task piece to try and demonstrate the ideas. So actually, before I do that, let's stop running everything so I can commit safely. Let's get a commit going. Script, missing columns from tasks table. Create ticket is the policy, not tickets. Da, 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 introduce tasks, API. Okay. So with that running, let's start Bear View again. Bear View allows us to log in. It allows us to see the tickets. Now I've got tickets stuck in my head. It allows us to see the planning items and get the UI running as it should do without actually having all the APIs started up. And as always, if there's any questions, opinions, thoughts, etc., I'm always happy to hear them. Okay. So what I've got to consider here is in the UI, what I want to do is put a button here that will allow me to click it and switch to a completely different view. The way this page is broken down so far, good or bad, is there's a layout. That layout is right now everything. So the app doesn't do very much. Let's figure this out again. So app has router outlet. Then we land there. Then we get to modules. And then when we get to planning, no. Initiatives, planning items, home. No. How do I do this? Dashboard component, home component. Gotta get my head sorted with how this is working. That goes that, that goes that. Landing. Am I using layout right this second? Am I just imagining things? Default layout. In the dev view, I think it's most important to see time to market the feature. I don't. Like RO88A. Guess what? I have no idea what I'm guessing. Hello. Congratulations. Whatever I think it's most important to see time to market in the feature. We'll have to talk more about that one. Because again, I think time to market of the feature is a product goal, not a developer focus. I mean, the developers are going to get involved in that. They're going to care about when they're expected to deliver things. But I think, again, keeping the developers focused on the tasks they need to do and allowing the product to own how far along they are is an important thing. So we'll have to go deeper into that one. Did I remove? How did I do this? So modules setting. So these modules are embedded in. So it has to be the app route. Default layout. There you go. Okay. That's how it's done. So essentially that's the planning layout. Right. Have to go to work anyhow. Good luck in the killing. We'll chat on Discord about above. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Let's definitely dig more into that one. And have a great day, Dota. May the work be easy and the day fly by. So let's call this the planning layout. Rename that to planning. So that's the way. So the top level route navigates down to that, and that component then has the embed for the rest. So the idea would be we create a new tasks layout. So we'll call that tasks. Add them. And this one becomes tasks layout. And hopefully doesn't rename. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, okay. Did a bad job of that one. I renamed it there. Okay, so we need to get rid of them. Why am I copying? Why am I commenting things out? Let's create a new component. New Angular schematic. Create a new component. And if anyone's familiar with Angular and constructing this sort of stuff that's watching, I am more than happy to take guidance or advice on Angular. Let's call this a product switcher. Skip the tests because I have no idea how to write client-side unit tests at this point. So there's no benefit in me trying to do that. And move that into components there. So this component here is going to be warning, bright white screen incoming because the website never remembers dark mode. But I wanted to show what I'm doing on screen. What we need here is a drop down of sorts. Panel menu. Maybe tiered menu. No. Context menu. Is it a context menu? Kind of is a context menu, isn't it? Dock. No. Menu. It's not a menu like that. It's not a menu bar like that. It's not a mega menu. Or I think context menu is the closest. But I don't want it to be a context. It's not. It's not kind of that. Drag drop. Overlay. Dynamic dialogue. What is this? What would you call this? It's kind of a drop down, but not a drop down. Or is it a menu that I just have one button in? It's kind of like that, isn't it? Wow. Back to back spam. Nice. Pop-up mode is enabled by setting pop-up. So it's this. It's a pop-up menu. Okay, so what we do is we go back over here, and this becomes this. And we import the menu module. We import the button module. So this is a standalone component. This is fine for this to be a standalone component. Model items. That's good by me. Is it extends or implements? Implements on init. And menu item there is PrimeMG API. That's okay. So label is products, and then we have planning and tasks, right? So then we're going to have a new module over here. Now, Angular's moving away from modules, so I'd be interested to understand what does an Angular app that's built completely around standalone components actually look like? Because that's going to be interesting. So this is going to be tasks. Skip. I don't think there's tests on modules. There's another tag here that I need to do. It's a routing module. That might not be what I want to do, but we'll find out. Oh, yeah, we do. Okay. Oh, interesting. It becomes its own module. That's an interesting way of doing it. Because normally this is how I do the routes, which is there, but this creates an actual entire module and then imports the module. I assume it just works the same way. It just adds it in, so we don't have to do that provide router. I think we're going to go the original way though. We're going to call that task.routes.ts, and then remove that, and then export that, and then this goes away, and then we do that. That's planning routes, tasks routes, and then that gets put into providers in here. Again, I could be doing this completely wrong, but no. Tasks routes. We definitely don't want to include that. Okay. So then we have views. So I'm kind of considering views as like the top level behavior within that module. So the dashboard component, I suppose, is the one thing we want. So view dashboard. So new component dashboard, skip tests, module tasks. That should not make that still a standalone. Imports. Declarations. That is because, is it here? Define them. No. TS config. There you go. So planning tasks star is, there you go. That'll clean that up a little bit. Yeah, tasks. Make some more readable paths there. And the goal will be very much to get that dashboard in there. So we get that there. And that dashboard component. Nope, wrong dashboard component. That, and that's that. So what I need to do here is figure out my color. And I don't think I saved the ones I did previously. So what we're gonna do, there's a color Canva. Not what I want. Color hunt. Colors. This is probably the one I'm thinking of. Manage cookies. Start the generator. I want to start it off a base color. I probably did something like this in the past, but I want to do generate method. Anybody get any recommendations? I just want to get a color that kind of complements but offsets against the blue of the planning so that I can get like green of tasks or something like that. Color palettes for designers, search palettes. I kind of just, so I want to give it a color and then find complementary colors. Find complementary colors from Hex. There you go. You know, if only I'd have typed the thing I wanted. So that's the Royal Knight. That seems very strong. Hue, analogous, split component, triad, contrast. So what am I actually looking for there? I'm looking for hues. Or am I looking, what am I looking for? This art stuff. I'll never get it. Because that are next to each other on the color wheel. Just stunning. I chose a color that has no color wheel. Complementary. Mustard yellow. Adjacent colors of this color is complementary color. Split complement. Like that green seems very strong, but we're gonna go with it. So in the task layout, we're gonna use that. Oh, that's not the same thing though, is it? Let's find out what that's color's probably the lighter color. Yeah. Did I use the triad or did I use the oh, let's just do that. It's fine. What's the worst that happens? So now in our router here, planning settings, these are going so the settings going in the planning layout, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a challenge. We might actually end up putting settings underneath the component so that it has it sits inside rather than being in its own layout. Because right now settings sits on top. But let's go to path is tasks. Component is the tasks layout. Load children. Yeah. Afternoon, Mr. Jones. How you doing? Can activate. Again, this has to be guarded by. And then everything else will go to the landing component. So we should now be able to go to /tasks and get to the task layout. Is the goal. There you go. I mean, everything's off, but the idea is there. Doing okay. I'm doing okay. Bit frustrated. I got some a weird permissions bug on the server side, so I spent 45, 50 minutes working on that on the stream to finally move over to this piece, which is trying to get the new layout in there for tasks. So we're going to do a product switcher, and this is going to go planning or tasks. And yeah, so in what should happen now is we should be able to do, actually, let's do ls liquid sky liquid sky liquid sky product switcher. Okay. So we should be able to do ls product switcher. Same here. planning. That's the general goal. But then what we're gonna do is go to tasks. So we need to do what exactly? Toggle menu toggle event. Yeah, probably haven't thought that one out about label. Um, Not kind of something I was considering. On click, toggle menu, pop up true. So does a menu item have navigation? Does it have router link? That'll do. And I think that's planning, not planning items. Yeah. Tasks. Oh, planning tasks. Planning task. When picking a product name, you should at least choose something you can say. I'm contemplating as we get closer to, well, as more features get added, I'm contemplating opening up something to offer the chance to name the product. Like an award or a drawing or something that would be fun, fun piece. I'm not sure how that could backfire though. Um, Again, planning. So, how do we do this again? I've tackled this problem before. /planning items. Yeah, /planning. So that goes there because that's got, so /planning /tasks. It's trying to build it, it just doesn't want to navigate it. If there's anything else on here. Router link active options. That's not going to do anything. But it does look like it builds full router link. So that's not that though. That's the normal way of doing router link in the UI. That's just not. It's just not. It's just ignoring me. It's like, oh no, I'm good. If I go to slash tasks, oh, that's bad. What have I done there? So slash tasks imports the module for tasks. Task module imports task routes with the home of dashboard component. Dashboard component has dashboard works, so I should see something. And we did see it the first time. If I go there now, why do you redirect? And redirect to nothing. I don't know why I don't like playing in the UI. So can activate is am I logged in? That's perfectly fine. As far as I understand it, this is kind of lazy loading, so it doesn't load every single component of the page. Planning task settings. Is it something to do with the layout? Thank you for the shout out, one line. I assume it was one line. After stream yesterday, one line kindly agreed to mod for me so that more shout outs could be provided in timely manner. If you are watching and you are interested in .NET development and application development in general, Thindle is a great streamer. Does a lot with migrating older code to new code, which is a challenge unto itself, and definitely worth checking out. These are standalone components. Uh, I clearly had some intent of making these similar in style to yeah, remove that, remove that, remove this. This is tasks, item, board, we'll call that board. We'll figure out what the stuff looks like afterwards. Remove the settings icon for now, just so it doesn't have any apps links. Theme switcher, app logout, router outlet. So again, this is the layout used for this particular component when it loads, and then it has its own router outlet. So all the navigation do within it will navigate and put the content inside of this router outlet. So that's the goal. Circuit switch layouts. So I think the premise is good. So why doesn't the thing work? Why do we see it once and then never again? So again, tasks. Wonder if it's not. So tasks there. Wonder if it's a copy pasta problem. Planning item store register global, that's fine. We don't have anything specific to like 'cause that would do it, right? Well, we get to planning, so if that was broken, that would be a problem anyway. It's just one of those days where nothing's going to quite come together the way I want it to. Then I'm going to get frustrated and I'm going to want to step away. And I won't step away. um, okay, so that's working. That doesn't work. That navigates back to root URL. So there's something bad about that. Now, let's have a look. I forgot about the fact that I have a console. Okay, the ng module tasks module 2 needs to be compiled using the JIT compiler, but I thank you for the look, Mr. Jones. Well then, thank you very much for the next shout out, Alicia. So recently found Alicia. She's been building a bot on stream. She's a .NET developer, uses Vue as well. I haven't had much time to sit and watch her, but it's a great stream to go and hang out in. She was building an app for. I'd be lying if I said I understood it fully, but it's kind of like a Pokemon or a Tamagotchi thing, right? Where you, but I'll have to find the time to sit and watch more and get into that more. But another great developer. I think the problem here is I didn't stop the application. It's not building everything properly. So the watch will work so far, but if you go and build an entire new component in the system, I'm not sure it compiles the same way. So I think that's actually a side effect. Yeah, task module is now built as part of the chunk. Let's see if this now works. Don't have to thank me each time. Just let me know if you want to decrease the frequency. A reminder to start during the second half of your stream and set a timer for the 2-minute cooldown. It's fun being a part. No, I really do appreciate it. There we go. It's like I intended it to be. So switching between tasks and planning. Lesson learned. We'll forget. We'll have to do that again. And again, I've opened up a whole load more questions. I'm also trying to do it at a time that seems in between thoughts. Yeah, good luck with that one. What I do is the shout out can, I think the same way you do it. Like the shout out, if it's mid flow or mid thought, then it is, and I'll try and come back around it. And again, it's kind of why I want to do developers.stream as well, because I think that helps me give the right messaging that the streamer wants, because I can just use the bot. The idea would be I can use the bot to pull the comment, the tag that they expect to see, and they can advertise themselves in the right way. Because I'll never do anyone justice, right? I can't do you justice. I can't do it. I can be eloquent, but it's hard to think. So, but I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Orium guy. That's just a great place to hang out. Such a a, a, a friendly stream. He's trying to learn. He's trying to grow. He accepts his limits and just continues to try to push beyond them. And it's just yeah. He's trying to learn. He's trying to learn .NET and Blazor and client side frameworks and Auth and all sorts of stuff. And he jumps around a lot, but it's kind of chaotic. And I kind of like streams that do show people's true learnings. Like it's kind of why I stream the way I do. It's kind of there's no music. There's just me and me waffling on at times, but it shows my process. It 100% genuinely shows what I'm going through. I'm not going off and kind of preparing a lot of stuff all the time. I'm not planning the content out. I'm just kind of letting it flow and picking up the stream um, as goes. So, and I like that. So, Emporium guy, it's really cool to watch him because he's doing that. He's trying to learn, he's trying to grow, and he's not a full-time developer. He's a translator, I believe. And yeah. Okay, so we have it. We have our tasks UI in place. It looks horrible. The menu is horrendous. I have no icon that suits that. Let's go see if we can find something. Um, um, what are these icons called? These icons are called Lucid Dev. That could have gone very badly wrong. Typing in a URL I wasn't 100% certain about. So let's think about an icon that represents product, product. Coding and development. Actually, we kind of want switch, don't we? We want switch or swap right this second. Something like this. Let's go swap. Should we do that? Yeah, let's go arrow left, right. So the challenge I have with this right now, in terms of there's an Angular library for Lucid, right? But unless I'm missing it, nothing tells me the actual name from the Angular version. So what I need to do is I need to go into no, not there. Did I do it in planning module? I did. Okay. So we need to go into, oh, that's a difficult one because we're gonna have to pull it in here. That's that is it. Icon. Okay, so I need the icon. I can't use these icons, is what that's telling me for right this second. So I'm going to use prime icons. Prime icons. Icons. Why? Why can you not remember? I've just put it into dark mode. List. Okay. Swap. Switch. Toggle. We have very different icons to use here. Oh, QR code maybe? I kind of want those three, but I kind of want the boxes. I'm not using Slack. Again, are they pith large? Let's use that one. Um, pith large. And yes, I'm amused. That looks better. That looks more app style, right? Style equals the background. How do I set transparent? Are you not like that? That is a style. Let's see if that. I mean, that shouldn't matter, though. Why don't you like that? Type string is not able to type class string any. Okay. Style class equals BG transparent. There we go. Size equals large. There we go. B0. What's border? Border width, border 0. There you go. Now, is there a bigger than large? Just large or small? Is it my job to give class equals width for BG? Let's figure out. Okay, so it does take up that full space. Align middle. I knew that was align item. Items center. Okay. We can get that in the middle. That'll do what I want it to do right this second. Right. So we can get to planning, get to tasks, planning, tasks. You can switch between the two. That's what we care about. Again, if you're an Angular expert and you're watching, don't make me struggle. I'm happy to learn. Oh, Tailwind expert. Hello, Loki. You okay? It's got a little head pop up between my legs and say hello. Hello, buddy. We're coming up and saying hi. Okay, we can say hi. Hello, bud. Hello, bud. Whoa. Hello. You want your hugs? Getting your hugs? Gotta figure out how to do the menu icon, bud. Yeah. Yeah, you got something in your ear. Hello, bud. And your back rubs. Hello. Um, so how do we get that? I want that here. I think if it's there, it's big enough. I don't think it's a problem from because it's going to be mouse controlled right now. We're not worrying about mobile. Um, we don't need a menu item, a title either. That's another thing. Um, it looks like on the screen like I'm just like stroking the air, but there is a dog's head there, I swear. Right, buddy? Yeah. Hello. Hello. Now's not the time to come and sit up on me. Okay. C Sharp Fritz, the quite simply the biggest .NET developer there is on Twitch. Um, covers all sorts of excellent topics. Um, I haven't got to catch many streams recently, but he's normally demonstrating a lot about Microsoft technologies. Um, he's a he's a Microsoft employee, um, but on stream builds all sorts of cool tools, tags app and whatnot. Um, yeah, just a great place to go out and learn, I suppose. Is the best. It's, also the founder of the first um sorry, the dog's distracting me. The first Twitch team that I knew about. Was a member of for a while. Um, just kind of became disconnected from the teams thing. Dog, what's the matter? You can't come up. I need to get some work done. We're working. Um, okay, let's. Oh, so this is because the routes and stuff of these buttons are going to be they're going to be broken, and I have to figure them out. But yeah. But anyway, let's figure out how to center this. Okay, you can have that arm for right this second. You're not coming and sitting up. No, no, nobody. I've got work I need to do. I need to do some work. Okay. There you go. There you go. No talking. Um, Morning, Mr. Ranhorn. How are you doing? I've got 10 minutes left of the stream. I'll cope with the dog sat on my lap for 10 minutes while I figure out how to center a silly image, a silly icon in Tailwind. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not? Is my lap not comfortable enough for you, dog? He's a bit bigger than £10, so he probably weighs closer to 50. He's a big lump, aren't you? You're a big lump. um, how do I center? So with full height for BG Amber 400, how do I get that in the middle of that box? One slap dog? Always lap dog. Yeah, yeah. Don't be flopping those ears in my head. You want to talk on there? This is for talking. What are we doing? He's actually having me hold him up though right now. My left arm is actually holding the weight of the dog. Because he's just kind of laying in a that's his comfortable position. Oh, now we've decided it's not comfortable. You're the one that wanted up here. Distracting me. Go down. You wanna go out? Go. Go. The door's open. Go. Okay. There you go. You know, if you chew food, it can appreciate it, but like your sister. There you go. Sorry about that. I do need to organize the room, and then I can set the doggo cam up, and then that'll work better for me. Tailwind, center, item, middle. Place item center. Does that actually work on this though? Nope. That's for full screen. Sure, that's not right. Grid, items, center, justify item center. Let's try that one. Ooh, there we go. That looks okay, right? So ultimately, I think this would be, the product logo. Again, something I'd have to figure out. So we may do a naming competition eventually. I'd have to figure out the rules and whatnot. But that might be something I run in the future. Let's find an icon for planning. Just again, placeholders. Search an icon. Product. We'll use the Amazon logo. Box. Plan. What would you say represents planning best? Did you really? Oh, no. Hello, Taylor. Idea. Light bulb. We'll go with pie light bulb. Then tasks. That might be an easier one. Pie list check. And then I think I could probably get rid of that. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? I don't know if I could be called Great Wise Man, that's for certain. We are working on building the next feature of the application, which is the task component of the system. And Great Walker. Yeah, I have one line providing me the role of bot of doing shout outs for me, which is awesome. So I'm still going to say thank you every time. Yeah, if you haven't seen Canny stream before, comes in here saying Great Wise Man. Yeah, he's the one that's building libraries for Twitch in Godot and games for game jams and space games and overlays and all sorts of cool stuff compressed into yeah, you're saying I'm the wise man, but look at what you're building on stream, dude. It's it's far and away better than what I'm doing. Does that work the same way? Oh, oh, that's horrendous. You see how that move? That actually takes space. That actually moved that down, didn't it? I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I'm not even messing around with that. Is that? No, it's not that, is it? White. One day I will be more familiar with Tailwind, I promise. It's just text, right? Text slate 600. Yeah, it does. Okay, it does do that. I suppose anything low in the color range is going to be close to white. Oh, it's just text white. That's why you don't have a color range on white. All right, I'm still yawning, by the way. You were making me yawn before. There we go. That works. So now we can switch between planning and tasks. Which is cool. That's doing. I want that gone though. How do I get rid of that menu? Can I do that? Even I don't want this. I don't want this label template. I don't want a template either. Command menu model. Get off. I want staplets. Right, but that's not. Hello, dog. Like I just want this, and that's suggesting that I don't need menu toggle. Chaos. I produce chaos. You are making the organization, or maybe making order sounds better. Sorry for the giant white screen of Docker in his face. I think I should just move on and not worry too much about this. Padding is not going to hurt me right now. And unlock. Welcome back. So we're making progress. So the goal of this is, like planning items here. Tasks, you go to the dashboard, go back to planning items, tasks, right? Is to literally do kind of an app switch. And I think that's achieved. Styling aside, we're now into the realm of if I spend too much time trying to figure this out in terms of styling, I'm going to drive myself crazy. This is just going to get infinitely harder to manage. So we're not going to stress on the styling, just more that there is a different app component that we're in here. To get the idea, again, switching between it's the same concept essentially, switching between Confluence and Jira in the Atlassian suite at this point. There's that app switcher. This is more a context switcher, right? Am I doing planning or am I doing work? If I want to look at the planning components and I want to look at what's upcoming, make views available here, even for the developers, because the developers should be reviewing certain things, right? Maybe there's stuff that people have asked them to look at. Maybe there's stuff that they are interested in keeping an eye on. Again, that whole thing of, oh, well, hold on, we're talking about developer tasks here. I want to know when that's actually changed. And the reason that didn't work is because I'm just running the bare view. There's no actual logic stuff going behind the scenes. But that would allow me to mark that I care about this planning item. And then when I go back to my dashboard here, if something changed about that thing, it would get updated in here for me. I'm not logging in and out as different users, so the inbox is kind of useless right this second. But the idea is that it will tell you. Morning, Napalm. How you doing? So we can switch to tasks, and now the focus will be very much on that task's behavior. So the product switcher, each component, planning and layout. So that's working better. Components. How do I do this now? Very soon we're going to get into the world of building a scrum board or a Kanban board, getting the swim lanes and stuff in there. That's a scary concept. That might be something I have to see if it exists. But for right now, what we're going to end up with is P button label equals add task, right? We're going to create a component. Actually, I'm going to create a folder called components first. And it's not a standalone component, it's a modular component, but component, and this is going to be called add task, skip tests, standalone, false. No, I think that would be module tasks. Didn't I try that before and it didn't create it? It still created a standalone. Yep, still creates it a standalone. So how do I do dialogues anywhere else? Manage requirements. I make this. This is the P dialog. Okay. Comment out everything else inside of it. That's the thing that comes next. Is visible doing equals false. Show hide. Add task. Forget that you can put code and stuff in there and do things there. So adding a task. So from here, do the add task. Doesn't have anything right now. Then add task. This is just add task dot show. P dialog is not known element. because I haven't added it as. That's interesting. Dialogue. So we need the dialogue module in the imports of here. That's added. And p-dialogue is not a known element. What are you talking about, not a known element? Of course it is a known element. Oh, hold on. I've added something to the module. I wonder if that's a cause. Let's figure that out. It could be I'm missing a piece, but now I've been stung by module reloading. There you go. Add task, adding a task. So planning tasks, add task. So I was gonna say tomorrow then. But it's the weekend. Mojo. Hello, how you doing? So I wish I could have got a lot further with this. Awful timing on my part. Yeah. Yeah. Terrible. I appreciate you showing up. No. Um, so what we've got working today, we've been able to switch between the components of the application. That's the goal, right? Um, and being able to add a task. This is kind of so going back to the requirements. If we go here and introduce developer tasks, new area for tasks. As an engineering group member, the planning screen is not useful for me. I should be able to navigate to an area of the system that's focused on developer tasks. When navigating, the user should be taken to a blank screen. I've added the button because obviously I'm merging these two pieces, right? I need a button on the screen to be able to do that. So I'm merging the two because pragmatism, being able to do that isn't complete until this is done. So again, it comes down into that the tasks break just because the user or the planning or product manager writes down these as requirements doesn't mean that that's the way they shake out when it comes to the actual development. So the developers can create the tasks to represent these actions. Now, these are kind of technical in nature because they're technical, right? That they are what I'm doing, which means that these are going to be challenging for a while. But what we should start to see is that these will become more descriptive of what we're expecting and how we expect it to behave. And then the tasks that get broken out from them are very much the technical components that back those requirements up, and we'll start to flex that and test it a little bit more. As I've been going through this, I've started to consider, okay, what does it mean? What if two requirements overlap on a task? In that world, I think one of the requirements gets the task, right? Because as long as it's done, it's done. And if QA is testing this component, um, to validate that we've introduced the ability to do developer tasks, then they've got to say, oh, we can go to the area. Yes, we can. We see, that this might not be valid. We might discuss, but that's the sort of stuff you want to discuss. Like, okay, if everything's done, then that isn't valid. So why have that as a requirement? Because again, if you're validating the entire thing, it doesn't matter. But that is an expectation for the developers when doing it. So that's where those worlds collide. Seeing the backlog, there is no backlog because we don't have any work pending. Therefore, is it valid to make it part of this? Probably not. But creating a task. So, what does it look like? What does the backlog look like? How do we do that backlog? Those are the sorts of questions we should be asking and validating and seeing. So, realistically, what that is when I go to tasks, this dashboard probably shows the backlog, or there's a backlog button that shows the backlog, and the dashboard just kind of shows tasks in progress, etc., etc., and being able to add a task again. I think this button will be used all over the place from this perspective. So there you go. That is where things stand right this second. On Monday, I'll probably have done a bit more work on this because that being able to add a task is going to be something that I think should be moving forward. And then what we get into is this piece, promoting a planning item to developer tasks. So we'll set out the requirements for this on Monday. I'm not, you're talking about Aspire and stuff. um, but yeah, we'll start planning out. So the idea being that when we go to these requirements on here, we'll be able to say, okay, now go and create the tasks for this, and then the tasks will link back to this. So we'll start to build that out where the tasks kind of show that there's 5 associated or whatever, and we'll start to lay this out and start to get a feel for that workflow. But yeah, it feels like things are moving forward. Using Wiremark and finding that nice to let me work on front end without my API being built. I don't know if I could change my workflow enough to deal with that. But yeah, so I think that's a good place to finish today. Maybe not as far as I wanted to. I wanted to get this dialogue to wire up, but the permissions problems I'm having on the other side mean that that's not possible. But we did get this week. We did get the tasks structure in place, so we're now up to almost 80 projects. Got the database configured, got the outbots and stuff all configured for that. So that's ready to go. It's just we just got a permissions issue somewhere in that pipeline. On the client side, we got the UI wired up to switch between views, which this was my vision from the beginning. I just didn't know if it would work. So this is good to see. And again, obviously it's not perfect, but it kind of demonstrates the idea. We can switch between planning and tasks effectively, which is good. And yeah. But that being said, let's this. We are missing one shout out right this second. One Lion has been doing the shout outs for me today. I fully appreciate that. That's been awesome. That's been helping me remember to provide shout outs where I forget. Again, developers.stream is a project that I want to undertake very soon, which would allow me to build something that would automatically shout out those things for people. But One Lion develops a financial management app and streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Fridays, though, is Community Day, where you can join Discord and have a chat about all things software development. So it's kind of random stuff as well, but a great place to hang out, as several of you are in the stream already. So I would highly recommend attending One Lion streams. Does Blazor instead of Angular, which some may find more interesting as .NET developers. Did we also decide where to go next for the content of the stream? Nice. Nice. Sounds like a good next step. So, that said, we need to find someone to raid over to today. In our usual. We have the option of Monospace Mentor. So again, Monospace Mentor is another streamer. That's who we're going to raid today. He does on Friday. He does a lot of different sides of development. He does a lot of Ruby stuff on his stream, a lot of DevOpsy stuff. And on Fridays he does a Q&A component where you can drop questions in and ask and lead into that experience. He's got a vast wealth of experience as a business owner, as a DevOps guy, maintenance, and a lot of great views, and really worth hanging out there. If you're looking for more experience and information. So I'll be back Monday. I'll see you again in One Line stream later on, I hope. And yeah, take care all. Have a great weekend. See you all later. Bye. Hello, Lucky. Say bye. You'll say bye? No? Okay. Bye all. Hello, buddy. You okay? You're okay. What, buddy? What do you need? What do you need? You need a hug? Do you want a cookie? Is a cookie what you want?